I want to do one thing, and do it well, says the man who once worked as a cleaner at the local grocery store as a teenager, later built the most popular messaging app and became a billionaire. Jan Koum, founder of WhatsApp, signed the $19 billion deal to sell his company to Facebook in February 2014. The company didn't even have a sign on the door of its headquarters in Mountain View, was one of the world's most used messaging app with 470 million users that time. At the time of the acquisition, the company had only 56 employees, roughly $20 million in revenue, and didn't even have the voice calling facility. Koum, a shy but brilliant engineer who moved from Ukraine to the US with nothing, became a multi-billionaire at the age of 38 with this deal. This is an inspiring story. So stay tuned. Koum was born on February 24, 1976 and raised in a small village outside of Kyiv, Ukraine. He was the only child of a housewife and a construction manager, who built hospitals and schools. He had lived with little means. His house didn't even have hot water. At the age of 16, Koum and his mother immigrated to Mountain View due to the troubling political situation, and got a small 2-bedroom apartment though government assistance. His dad never made it over. Koum's mother took up babysitting job, and Koum swept the floor of a grocery store to help make ends meet. When his mother was diagnosed with cancer, they lived off her disability allowance. Koum missed his small group of friends, and didn't like school life in America that much. By the age of 18, Koum had taught himself computer networking by purchasing manuals from a used bookstore, and returning them when he was done. He joined a hacker group on the FNet Internet Relay Chat Network, squirreled into the servers of Silicon Graphics, and chatted with Napster co-founder Sean Fanning. He enrolled at San Jose State University, and moonlighted at Ernst & Young as a security tester. During 1997, he was working beside to one of the Yahoo employees, Brian Acton. Koum and Acton had no-nonsense attitude, so they got along well. 6 months later, Koum applied at Yahoo, and got a job as an infrastructure engineer. He was still studying at San Jose State University when he joined Yahoo and taking a class, when one of the company's servers broke. Yahoo co-founder David Filo yelled at him, and called him to the office immediately. Then Koum dropped out of the college. Koum lost his father in 1997, and his mother died of cancer in 2000. He lost his family by the young age of 24, and was completely alone. Acton was with him during that tough phase. The duo worked together for another 9 years and left Yahoo in 2007. They took a year to decompress, traveling around South America and playing ultimate frisbee. Both applied and failed to work at Facebook. He recalls, "We're part of the Facebook Reject Club." In January 2009, he bought an iPhone and realized that the 7-month-old App Store was about to spawn a whole new industry of apps. He used to go to the weekly pizza and movie night at one of his old friend's place, Alex Fishman. The two of them used to talk for hours about Koum's idea for an app over tea at Fishman's kitchen counter. Fishman recalls Koum saying, "It would be really cool to have statuses next to individual names of the people. The statuses would show if you were on a call, break, or you were at the gym." Koum could do the back end, but he needed an iPhone developer. So Fishman introduced Koum to Igor Solomennikov, a developer in Russia that he had found on rentacoder.com. Koum almost immediately chose the name WhatsApp because it sounded like "What's up?" A week later, on his birthday, February 24, 2009, he incorporated WhatsApp Incorporated in California. Koum spent days creating the back-end code to sync his app with any phone number in the world, poring over a Wikipedia entry that listed international dialing prefixes, and updating the code for hundreds of regional nuances. Early WhatsApp kept crashing or getting stuck. Few of Koum and Fishman's friends had downloaded it. It really pushed forward when Apple launched push notifications in June 2009, letting developers ping users when they weren't using an app. Koum updated WhatsApp so that each time you changed your status like, "Can't talk, I'm in a meeting," it would ping everyone in your network. Fishman's friends started using it to ping each other with funny custom statuses like, "I woke up late," or "I'm on my way," and at some point, they started using as instant messaging app. Koum didn't plan it earlier but soon realized that he had unknowingly created a messaging service. Combs says, being able to reach somebody halfway across the world instantly, on a device that is always with you, was powerful. There were few other messaging services, like Google Talk, Skype, and they come with certain limitations, but WhatsApp was unique. The login was your own phone number. Combs released WhatsApp 2.0 with a messaging component and watched his active users suddenly swell to 250,000. Once Combs visited Acton showing his app. Acton realized that this app can potentially provide more effective, richer SMS experience to send texts, media files, etc. He and Combs worked out of the Red Rock Cafe, a usual place for startup founders on the corner of California and Bryant in Mountain View. Two of them were always up there. In October 2009, Acton got 5 ex-Yahoo friends to invest $250,000 in seed funding, and as a result was granted co-founder status and a stake. He officially joined on November 1st. People were interested in their app, desperate to WhatsApp their friends on Nokias and Blackberries. Combs hired an old friend who lived in LA, Chris Pfeiffer, to make the BlackBerry version of WhatsApp. Even then there was no WhatsApp sign for the office. They took up a place. But they wore blankets for warmth and worked off cheap IKEA tables. They used to give direction as, find the Evernote building. Go round the back. Find an unmarked door. Knock. With Combs and Acton working for free for the first few years, their biggest cost was sending verification texts to users. Combs and Acton were using cutthroat SMS brokers like Clickatel, who'd send an SMS to the US for 2 cents, but to the Middle East for 65 cents. The costs weren't so steep back then, but high enough to drain Combs' bank account. Fortunately, WhatsApp was gradually bringing in revenue, roughly $5,000 a month by early 2010, enough to cover the costs then. The founders occasionally switched the app from free to paid so they wouldn't grow too fast. In December 2009 they updated WhatsApp for the iPhone to send photos, and exploded with users, even when it had the $1 price tag. Combs and Acton were batting away all requests to talk about VC funding. Sequoia partner Jim Getz knew WhatsApp is the leader in the messaging app. He was persistent to meet one of the founders. He eventually met Combs and Acton at the Red Rock Cafe, promised not to push advertising models on them, but act as a strategic advisor. They eventually agreed to take $8 million from Sequoia in 2011 on top of their $250,000 seed funding. 2 years later, in February 2013, when WhatsApp's user base had swelled to about 200 million active users, and its staff to 50, Acton and Combs agreed it was time to raise some more money. Sequoia invested another $50 million in the second round in 2013, valuing WhatsApp at $1.5 billion. Acton and Combs started looking for leasing a new 3-story building around the corner, as their staff doubled to 100. But in February 2014, Facebook bought WhatsApp for $4 billion in cash, $12 billion in stock, 8.5% of the company, plus $3 billion in restricted shares. Combs signed and sealed on the door of the welfare office once he haunted. How did the deal happen? Get together. The subject line of the email was like every other come-on that hit Jan Combs' inbox in the spring of 2012. WhatsApp was emerging as a global phenomenon. Some 90 million people were using it to text and send photos for free by 2012. Combs looked at the email sender and it was Mark Zuckerberg. He was stunned. Mark had been using WhatsApp and wanted him to meet over a dinner. Combs couldn't meet him that day as he was dealing with server issues, but Mark suggested to meet before he left. Combs forwarded the reply to his co-founder, Brian Acton, and his sole venture backer, Jim Getz. Acton said, "When someone of Mark's status contacts you directly, you answer the phone." Combs had lunch with Zuckerberg later that month. Mark hinted at his interest in combining their two firms. After the most lucrative 2-year courtship led to friendship, and finally sealed with the acquisition deal. According to Forbes, he has an estimated net worth of $13.8 billion as of September 2022, making him one of the richest people in the world. Isn't this inspiring? Seeing a struggling teenager achieving such great heights. He never compromised on his terms. He wanted to develop a product without any advertising, games, or gimmicks. He wanted to create a product that everyone can use. Hope you enjoyed this video. We will come back with another one soon.